Well, I want to point to a couple links about something. I'm not going to go over them on this video and rehash the guy's work or anything, but it looks like Dylan Storm's room was staged with the flag and everything. I was looking at this guy's analysis of the original photos of this Dylan roof that did the massacre in South Carolina. It looks like he has, well, it doesn't look like, he does have a lot of like shot glasses and alcoholic stuff and beer and stuff in his room. And the flag he's holding, you know, the Confederate Rebel flag, you look at a blow up of it, it looks like a solid, perfectly, you know, if you go up each pixel, you know, a diagonal line. Like you could have drawn it on there. In other words, when you see an object like that, usually it has like different shades of gray and or off-white, and it's a little bit irregular, but it's like a perfect line, like somebody drew it on there with Photoshop. The other thing is he's holding his hand like this. The flag is going out like that. Looks like he's holding a bottle of beer. But anyway, they go over a lot of different stuff, and then you look at the picture of the reflection of the flag in the mirror in the background. It's a real small. You don't see the flagpole on it. You only see the flag like it's just standing out there all by itself. So I don't know what the hell to tell you, man. It looks like they added things into this event to just pull the Confederate Rebel flag. That's all they did it for. But you know, I got to tell you something that's dangerous about this whole deal is the big corporations got you by the balls. You know, if they could do that, they could pull anything off the market they want. And you know, if you think about it, you could say the British Union Jack and the British flag is no good because it is and that, and it's associated with that. Or if you're reading a book on this, and you did a crime, and since you have a book on this, that means that's bad. You know what I mean? You can go all kinds of ways. And anybody that has a Italian flag, a Mexican flag, or whatever, like I'm, half Italian, and they commit a crime, then you could say, well, all those flags need to be banned. You know? So anyway, but I'm looking at this deal. It looks like it was staged. It was a political thing. And I could do, it's a joke about this stuff. I'm not even a graphic artist or anything like that. I could do a better job than these yo-yos that the government hires to do this stuff. Like, I remember looking at the thing about the birth certificate. I may be like Obama or not, but I remember looking at the birth certificate with Obama, and there were so many discrepancies on that thing and the way it was forged with the numbers all crooked and everything. And another thing, they referred to him back in, I think, in the 60s as black, and they didn't even use that term back then. It was like colored or Negro on the official forms. Way back when, they didn't even use the term black. It was another thing I picked up on. That was a later terminology that they came into using. But I looked at that document, and it was a joke, and I was like, how the hell could they freaking... I personally, I'm not even a graphic artist. I could do a way better job than even that birth certificate thing Obama put up on the White House that was like... Then they took it down on the White House website. But it reminds me of the same thing with this Dylan roof. They did just as bad a job staging that with the artifacts in his room, holding a flag. He was holding a bottle of beer. It sure as hell looks that way. So I'm going to point to some of these links. I'm not going to go over this stuff. But it looks like some alcoholic yo-yo. I don't know what the hell this guy was, and I'll tell you what. I know the church members in Charles, South Carolina, I was surprised that they were saying, to ask forgiveness to the Lord to this guy. I wouldn't ask for forgiveness to him. Personally, if that was something like that, and that happened to anybody in my family, and even if you didn't kill him, and he just hit him with a stick, a board, I wouldn't forgive him. I'd be like, screw the bastard. You know what I mean? I'd be looking for freaking... getting them back. Those are really, really church-growing people. But I'm putting it out to you really straight about this deal because I smelled something up with this bullshit from day one. whereby they reacted so fast on that flag. And I never had a Confederate flag in my life. The only thing I ever had was Confederate was the Dukes of Hazzard on DVD. I thought it was a silly show. And I always thought the flag was just like, I didn't even think about the Confederacy, but you know what? I got so pissed off at this bullshit. I ordered a rebel flag, a Confederate flag. I ordered one online, and a USA made one, not made in China. And it just because it pissed me off because these assholes are saying you can't do it. Tell me more crap I can't do. I'll do the opposite. Tell me more shit I can't do. I'll do the opposite. I don't care. I don't give a damn. And you know what? And if you try to play a game to, get me to do the opposite and it's really what you want to do, I'll outsmart you. I'll tell you that right now. But that's what pisses me off about that. Just freaking play down some freaking rules and I'll bust them. That's the way I look at it. So anyway, it looks like this damn, Dylan Roof guy. I couldn't believe how the cops picked this guy up. I'm not for police brutality or nothing, but I was a cop. The gun would have been on his head right there. I would have grabbed him by the freaking hair and threw him down on the ground, and it wouldn't have been nice. I wouldn't have killed him, but I wouldn't have been nice kid gloves to him. And he asked me for a burger, and he said he was hungry. I would have said, and they picked him up a burger in Burger King. I'm not even like somebody that's going to be like freaking, I'm against this police brutality shit. But then again, with that asshole, I would have freaking slammed him on the ground. Freaking killed 9 people in cold blood. Screw him, man. But you can't overdo it where you're going to freaking say police brutality and shit. But I wouldn't treat that sucker with freaking kid gloves. That's what, the whole thing is reeking, man, all the way. It is. Anything these jackasses tell you they want you to think, or you're supposed to be one way or the other, do the opposite. Screw them. If they tell you you're supposed to be this way or that way, do the opposite. The hell with them. That's one reason I kind of like that flag, because it doesn't really remind me of the Confederacy, that type of stuff. And yeah, I did look up on Yale University with the actual Articles of Incorporation of the Confederacy, man. What a bunch of hypocrites all the way around. The Union freed the slaves in the states they did not have control over. You see that? These are yo-yos, man. Everybody's playing do-gooder. And the Confederacy freed the slaves in the slave states that were still in the Union. They're all bullshit, man. Big money power fighting each other, and if somebody was like the ancestor of a Confederate or something, and they fought and died in the war, they fought and died in the war, man. If somebody was the freaking ancestor in Vietnam and they're fighting against the Americans, hey, man, that was their lineage, they freaking fought against the Americans, 200 years from now, you'd be looking at that, oh, they were evil, they were communist. I don't know, man. Everybody gets brainwashed wherever the hell they're at. They're told something, and they do their utmost to do what they think is right by what the bullshit they were told, right? I kind of like the rebel flag right now more so. I wasn't even much on it before at all, really, because I was thinking, just the fact that they said you can't have one, or they're going to say eBay won't sell it, and Amazon won't sell it, and Google stores won't sell it, and Walmart won't carry it, and they're going to take the rebel flag off of the freaking Dukes of Hazzard car. I was like, what? And they're going to take it out of Sears. I was like, fuck you, I'm buying one. I don't care. Now it made me want to buy it. They're just the opposite. So, usually maybe, but the thing is, I don't think most people are going along to get along yo-yos. And that's 99% of the problem. And you know what I say to those people? Eat shit and die. And when you die, I hope it's painful. I don't care about you assholes. I don't care at all. None. Zero. So, anyway, I want you to look at some of these. I'm not going to rehash. This guy did a really professional job. He wouldn't have been doing it like me, because I would get pissed off at this garbage. It pisses me off, man, because now I was smelling something up with this bullshit, but I can't keep track of all this shit, because these guys are all coming at you from 50 million freaking angles. It's like I can't keep track of all the freaking conspiracy theories and the freaking going down a rabbit hole and shit. You got to do things. You got to get shit done. You know what I mean? Can't be freaking concentrating on this shit all day. But then again, usually I use like a little bit of intuition and I say, "Hey, man, something ain't right with this bullshit," because, yeah, say the guy had a rebel flag, but say he had a Mexican flag or an Italian flag or an Irish flag, would they be banning those? No. You could say, the Italians got the mafia, the Mexicans got the drug lords, and the Irish got the IRA. For crying out loud, right? Good point, right? No, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't be freaking going after that shit. They got some kind of agenda with this thing, so whatever their agenda is, do the opposite. I actually put a video out. Now, actually, my nephew's half black, right? I'm his godfather, right? Tell you the truth, man, I'm going to tell you right now, I think a lot of do whatever you want, man, but it's like, I wouldn't tell anybody what to do. But actually, if I was I can't say what I would doing because I'm not in the situation, but say I was from the South and I was part of my lineage and I was in Confederate War or whatever, or even around that time, and whatever, I might adopt the freaking Confederate flag anyway, just because the assholes are freaking telling you it's politically incorrect to do that. That's what I don't know what I would do, because I'm not in the exact situation, you know what I mean? So anyway, I want to actually just tell you that looks like the whole thing's staged, and you know what? What's really pissing me off is like they're freaking trying to take out everything that's traditionally, whatever the history is of the United States and say it's all evil. And it's coming from a guy that wasn't even born, that shouldn't have been elected. If you argue, say he was from Hawaii, but he's got really no lineage in the United States. Even if you said that shit was not freaking, that was a legitimate birth certificate or whatever the hell, Obama, he's got no freaking, going back in the USA. He's from Kenya, man. He's from Kenya, man. He's a foreign country, man. That's all it is. And I'm like, he don't give a shit about this place. And unfortunately, you got people like Hillary Rodham Clinton and Jeb Bush and the Bush family and the Clintons, and they might go all the way back. I guess it don't matter where the hell you come from. They're all assholes. They only give a shit about number one. That's what it comes down to. But it does look like this stuff was staged event, because they wouldn't be going around photoshopping the hell out of his pictures in his room, and I could see what they did. Like I said, that's not even my trade. I could do it. You know what cracks me up about these government yo-yos? I don't know where the hell they can even get these guys that Photoshop this shit. You know what it is? They probably can't get the best people to do the job. Like, in other words, if you wanted to act, because in the government, you got some people, like, if they wanted to create $100 bills, like, perfect, they could do it, right? They want to create any kind of foreign money out there, they could do it, no problem. They could forge any document, somebody can go in there with a magnifying glass, and they do a perfect job. But when you got some underhanded shit like this going on, it's not like the whole freaking government of USA is in a conspiracy to ban the freaking Confederate flag. No, they get the freaking they can only find certain weasel assholes that are freaking playing this game, and they pay them to do the job, and they're not necessarily the best, most talented people. That's why they're freaking doing a shit job on these Photoshop ops with this guy, Dylan Roof, and also even the Obama birth certificate was freaking bullshit, too. But, I don't really give a shit about that birth certificate so much. What I really give a shit about is the fact the guy's a communist Marxist selling us down the river, and so is Hillary Clinton, so is Jeb Bush, and all the rest of these yo-yos. So anyway, just want to alert you, I'm going to put some links down at the bottom of this video. You can look at the stuff and see for yourself exactly what the hell I'm talking about. And it's locked on, man. They photoshopped the hell out of it. They put him in there. He was holding a bottle of beer. They put the freaking flag in his hand going out like this. He's holding a bottle of beer. He's a freaking drunk piece of shit. He's like got shot glasses and things all up on the wall with beer and whiskey and stuff like that. He's holding a bottle of freaking something, whiskey or beer. Wasn't holding a rebel flag, man. It was staged. They stuck it in the freaking picture. They photoshopped it right in. Obvious as all hell. But like I said, it was an Italian flag, a Mexican flag, or Irish flag. Actually, I got a little Irish, but I got Italian. You know, you could say, oh, it's the Mexican drug cartels, the Italian mafia, or the Irish IRA, it's hate, ban the flag. But no, they don't do that. Right? They don't do that. So what's the game? Whatever the game is, do the opposite. That's what I say in conclusion. Whatever the game is, do the exact opposite. Screw them. Rebel. Do the opposite. Do the unexpected. Anyway, over that.